My British Airways whistleblowers had revealed that she is one of the worst passengers to ever travel on their airline. She was rude to the air hostesses. She tried to get upgrades. That was before she met Prince Harry. And she refused to even look after Archie on the flight. And he was crying for a long time before the nannies got involved. So call me suspicious about this. Then it gets even more murky. In a bid to move the attention away from the fact that no one turned up in Geneva and the whole world was laughing at her about that, she leaks to People magazine, her propagandists at People magazine, that this was the crew, the British Airways crew. And she was just so touched that they loved her so much. Here's the look at this. Tash revealed, wait, what? Meghan arranged an anniversary card to be given to her on her flight. She pre-ordered and then gave the exclusive to People magazine. And then Tash delivered the receipts. Look at this. And we're going to read through this together because Meghan's just been well and truly rumbled. When booking, this is on BA, you can add a complimentary personalized message for your partner. Let the flight attendants know it is your anniversary when you board, especially if you are celebrating a major milestone like a 10th or 25th anniversary. It is up to the crew's discretion, but they often present couples with a complimentary bottle of bubble and a signed crew card. Since BA does not centrally arrange standalone cards, it is best to bring your own special card on board if you hand it to a crew member. Tash, I cannot believe it. When I saw it, I just thought, I don't believe this for a second, because she is well known amongst BA to be the worst passenger. She has a news network that just 10 fans, so-called fans, had actually showed up to watch Meghan. And Meghan Kelly was absolutely brutal about this moment on her show. Watch this.
Meghan Markle. Doug, she traveled to Geneva, Switzerland to give some speech about the dangers of social media. She posted on social media before she went a picture of herself surrounded by designer clothing and Lilibet down at her feet, staring up at her mother. Here you can see it. It's just me. It's me admiring me as my daughter admires me in my closet of designer clothes. This is how I want you to understand how relatable I am. And then she went all the way over to Geneva from Los Angeles, California, or wherever they are, just north of LA, and gave this speech. You know, she wants to be taken seriously. She's a humanitarian. She started Archwell Foundation, which already closed. She flies all the way over there. And would you take a look at the crowd that showed up or didn't? Okay, we sped it up just so you can see. Like, literally nobody is on the side. They have all the ropes up to protect her from crowds coming. There's one woman in the background. No one is there. You just keep watching, because we panned the camera. We found the shots to show, like, okay, were there tons of people in front of her? There were not. Were there tons of people on the other side? No. It reads no child lost to social media. No one is listening to her. We have video of a woman behind her who basically is like putting the jacket on or off, like taking a yawning, stretching. This is the crowd, Doug. The guy in Central Park we've seen blow those enormous bubbles. It gets a way bigger crowd than this.
It's lost even the train wreck appeal. She's already had about 10 train wrecks. So now, you know, you think, oh, sorry.
Here's Jacket Lady. Look at her. She looks riveted, doesn't she? She's like, I'm near a princess.
Oh, boy.
No, she couldn't care less. She's not interested. And it's the public's verdict on, we don't give a shit about you. Shut up and go live your life and stop bothering us with your fake profundities and fake title.
Yeah. Yeah, she's lost all appeal. It could be like the train wreck thing would happen here and there, and that could still get some audience, but she's had a few of those already. Even that's not interesting from her anymore.
Look at her. Like, no one cares. It's like it's smattering. You know how they say smattering of applause? This is a smattering of audience members. It's officially over.
I also think it was the realization that without Harry, she is no one. She needs him. She can't upgrade. She can't ditch him. She can't leave him and find someone else and try and get the platform that she has been given for the last few years. She might initially get it if she does announce a divorce, because you'd have the sea of people like Oprah wanting her on their sofas for their chat shows and stuff. But she will go into obscurity quicker than anything. People are not interested in anything she's got to say. But then why would anybody listen to Harry talk about the environment when he uses private jets like Ubers? Why would you listen to Meghan and Harry talk about child online safety when they're constantly posting images and video clips of their children? And I keep bringing this up. The children, 9 times out of 10, are in their pajamas, Dan. Lily's in a nightdress. She was in a nightdress in Easter. She was in a nightdress which was practically, see-through with the sunlight. These are children that have no choice in these photographs. Archie, he had his pajamas on when he was out in Mexico, when they went to the pumpkin patch. These children are always in some sort of I guess they're night clothes. What sort of parents do that to their children? At least if you're going to present your children to the world, make them look their best. But it just seems like even Lily at her mum's feet, again, the little girl is in her pajamas, and she wasn't even looking up at Meghan. There was no interaction between Meghan and her daughter. She's posed there like a little statue, like Meghan has told her, right, sit still, don't move your head. You can tell just by the demeanour of the little girl when you look at her. These are not children that are living their best life and charging around and having fun. The children are often stuck rigid, hiding somewhere because their mum has told them they've got to pose for a photograph. It's actually really, really sad to watch, I think, in comparison, especially when you see all of the other royal children, all of them, the extended cousins, the Tyndalls and the Phillips, and you see them and they can just interact and play and run around. But you
When
see
all else fails. According to critics online, Meghan Markle seems to return to one strategy over and over again. Create a feel-good moment. Get people talking about warmth. Move attention away from the bad headlines. And according to people online, this time the plan involved a British Airways anniversary card. Because what should have been a harmless little story about flight attendants surprising Meghan on her wedding anniversary somehow turned into another internet investigation. And honestly, the reason this exploded is not because the card itself was shocking. It's because critics online think the entire thing may have looked a little too perfect. According to reports shared publicly, Meghan posted an image thanking British Airways crew after returning from Geneva. The story quickly spread. The crew allegedly remembered her anniversary, signed a handwritten card, shared memories, added treats, celebrated her marriage publicly. It was framed as spontaneous, heartfelt, unexpected. On paper, it sounds sweet. But according to critics online, people immediately started asking, how exactly did the crew know? Why was the photo released publicly so quickly? And why did details about the gesture appear almost instantly in media coverage? That's where things started getting uncomfortable. Because according to discussions online, critics began circulating information suggesting British Airways already offers anniversary gestures and signed crew cards under certain circumstances if celebrations are known in advance. And suddenly the conversation changed. Now people were not asking, wasn't that nice? They were asking, was this actually arranged? Then another problem made everything worse. Timing. Because according to many viewers online, this happened immediately after Geneva, a trip that critics had already framed as a public image disaster. Small crowds. Online backlash. The Instagram controversy. The children's privacy criticism. And according to critics online, people started wondering whether the anniversary story appeared at exactly the right moment to redirect attention emotionally. That theory spread fast. Then old airline stories started resurfacing online too. Claims from commentators discussing previous reports and anecdotes about Meghan's travel behavior before royal life. Claims that critics online used to argue the beloved passenger image felt inconsistent with older stories. Now importantly, those claims remain allegations and public commentary, not verified airline positions. But according to many viewers online, once people already suspect image management, even positive stories start getting reinterpreted differently. And according to critics online, that may be exactly what happened here. Because what was supposed to become, look how loved Meghan is, quickly became, Did Meghan accidentally expose another carefully managed PR moment instead? According to many viewers online, the British Airways anniversary card itself was never actually the controversial part. People do receive anniversary surprises. Airlines do sometimes acknowledge special occasions. Flight crews often create memorable moments for passengers. That part alone wasn't unusual. What critics online became obsessed with was something else. The timing. Because according to discussions online, this story appeared almost immediately after Geneva became dominated by negative headlines. And critics online believe that pattern has become increasingly familiar around Meghan publicly. A difficult appearance. Negative coverage. Then suddenly, new photos, new family content, new humanizing stories, new lifestyle moments. According to many viewers online, critics argue the strategy often feels designed to emotionally redirect attention rather than confront criticism directly. Now, obviously, that doesn't prove coordination. But according to discussions online, the sequence itself became the entire conversation. Then another detail started bothering people. The source language. Because critics online noticed coverage describing a source close to Meghan. The emotional reaction. The special memories, the gratitude, the touching experience. And according to many viewers online, critics immediately interpreted that style of reporting as familiar celebrity narrative management. Then people started asking a question that completely changed the discussion. If this was truly a private, meaningful gesture, why publicize it at all? That question spread everywhere. Because according to critics online, spontaneous kindness usually becomes powerful precisely because it stays private. But when the moment appears instantly online, gets amplified publicly, and turns into media coverage, critics start seeing performance instead of authenticity. Then another uncomfortable comparison resurfaced. According to many viewers online, critics started connecting this anniversary story to older moments Meghan has been criticized for before. The carefully framed family photos, the handwritten notes, the emotional reveal moments, the stories emphasizing how adored and appreciated she allegedly is publicly. That interpretation became brutal, because critics online argued the pattern increasingly feels less like, "Look what happened," and more like, "Look how people reacted to me." That distinction matters emotionally. Then another strange observation spread online. Critics pointed out the anniversary itself wasn't even considered a major milestone traditionally. Not 10 years. Not 20 years. Not 25 years. Just year 8. According to many viewers online, critics joked that the amount of content surrounding the anniversary felt bigger than some actual royal anniversaries publicly. Then the conversation expanded beyond the plane entirely. Because critics online started saying the real issue wasn't the card. It was the growing feeling that every ordinary life event around Harry and Meghan increasingly arrives packaged as content. Anniversary? Content. Children? Content. Travel? Content. Dinner? Content. Humanitarian event? Content. And according to many viewers online, once audiences begin feeling that way, even genuinely authentic moments become harder to believe publicly. According to many viewers online, the British Airways story would probably have disappeared within a day if it happened in isolation. But critics online believe it landed at the exact wrong moment publicly, because Geneva had already created another wave of conversation around attention, optics, branding, and whether Meghan's public appearances increasingly feel overly managed. So when the anniversary story appeared, people didn't evaluate it independently. They connected it to everything else. That's when the internet became ruthless. According to many viewers online, critics started building a larger narrative. Geneva speech, anniversary content, plain card, People magazine coverage, family footage, wedding nostalgia. And critics online argued all of it suddenly looked less spontaneous and more like a coordinated emotional reset. Again, that doesn't prove anything. But according to discussions online, perception became the real issue. Because critics online increasingly believe Harry and Meghan no longer release moments casually. People expect every image, every quote, every story, every anniversary post. to carry multiple goals at once: humanize, redirect, promote, restore, or reinforce. That perception became damaging. Then another detail started getting attention: the wedding anniversary content itself. Because according to many viewers online, critics felt Meghan's anniversary celebration suddenly became unusually public. Old memories, old photos, relationship storytelling, emotional captions, new footage, and critics online started asking, who exactly is this for? Harry? Family? Or public perception? That question spread aggressively. Then another moment started getting mocked online: the penguin story. According to discussions online, Meghan shared the story about dressing as penguins because penguins mate for life and tied it emotionally into their relationship narrative. Supporters thought it was cute. Critics thought it felt overly scripted. And according to many viewers online, once audiences already suspect image management, even harmless romantic stories start sounding like branding exercises emotionally. Then the family content triggered another backlash, because critics online pointed out something they see repeatedly. Harry and Meghan often criticize media exposure around children publicly, while simultaneously sharing selective glimpses of family life themselves. That contradiction came back immediately. According to many viewers online, critics argued, when others show the children privacy issue, when Harry and Meghan show the children meaningful storytelling, that perception intensified skepticism again. Then another brutal theory spread online afterward. Critics believe Meghan increasingly uses emotional proof instead of public credibility. Not, trust me because I'm right, but, trust me because people love me. The crew loves me. The audience loves me. My husband loves me. My children adore me. Everyone is touched. According to many viewers online, critics think that emotional framing is becoming more obvious publicly. And that's why small stories like the British Airways card suddenly create much bigger reactions than expected. Because according to critics online, people are no longer reacting to the story itself. They're reacting to the pattern they think they're seeing. According to many viewers online, the strangest thing about this entire anniversary controversy is that it may not actually be about the plane at all. Critics online think the British Airways story exposed something much bigger. Meghan still appears to want royal-level emotional attention, without accepting royal-level limitations publicly. Because according to discussions online, this anniversary rollout looked surprisingly familiar. The nostalgic storytelling, the relationship mythology, the emotional exclusives, the public affection, the carefully selected images. Critics online immediately compared it to traditional royal communications. Except according to many viewers online, they believe one major difference exists. Royals usually make the institution feel bigger than themselves. Critics argue Harry and Meghan increasingly make everything feel smaller, more personal, more emotional, more centered around their own lives. That perception spread aggressively after the anniversary content. Then another uncomfortable point started appearing online. According to critics online, Meghan increasingly frames ordinary life moments like symbolic events. Dinner becomes a statement. Travel becomes a story. A card becomes proof of admiration. An anniversary becomes public validation. And according to many viewers online, critics believe that strategy may have worked better years ago than it does now publicly, because audiences are starting to anticipate the emotional framing before it even happens. Then another example reignited discussion: the wedding nostalgia content. According to discussions online, anniversary posts reference their wedding repeatedly. Old imagery, old symbolism, old royal moments, relationship mythology. And critics online started asking a brutal question. If royal life was genuinely such a painful experience, why return to royal imagery every time public interest drops? That question spread fast. Now supporters argue something important. You can criticize parts of your experience and still value meaningful memories. That's fair. But according to many viewers online, critics believe Meghan increasingly wants both positions simultaneously. Distance from the institution, while still benefiting from the emotional power of association with it. That contradiction became another major talking point. Then came the merchandising criticism. Because according to discussions online, critics started connecting anniversary imagery to broader lifestyle branding and commercial storytelling surrounding Meghan's projects publicly. Again, that doesn't mean every family moment is commercial. But according to critics online, once people start viewing someone primarily through branding, they begin questioning motives behind everything. That's difficult to reverse. Then another brutal observation appeared. Critics online argued the card itself became symbolic. Not because of what it said, but because of what they believe it represented emotionally. The need to show people she's still admired, loved, celebrated, chosen. According to many viewers online, critics think that may be why the story triggered such strong reactions publicly. Because the internet increasingly isn't asking, "Did this happen?" They're asking, "Why do we need to know it happened?" According to many viewers online, this is where the British Airways story stopped being about an anniversary entirely. Because critics online believe the real issue is not that Meghan shared the card. It's that people increasingly feel every emotional moment arrives already packaged with the intended reaction attached. And honestly, that may be the hardest public image problem to solve. Because admiration is powerful when people arrive there themselves. But according to critics online, once audiences feel they're being guided toward a conclusion, they often push in the opposite direction emotionally. That's what many people online believe happened here. The intended message looked simple. Look how kind people are. Look how loved Meghan is. Look how meaningful this moment was. But according to many viewers online, critics received a different message instead. Why are we being shown this? That question became huge. Then people started revisiting a pattern they think has repeated for years. The handwritten notes, the emotional gestures, the public appreciation moments, the stories emphasizing how deeply moved Meghan allegedly feels. According to critics online, individually none of these moments seem strange. But collectively, critics believe they create an image of someone constantly seeking external validation publicly. That interpretation spread aggressively afterward. Then another comparison resurfaced. According to many viewers online, critics pointed out that senior royals often receive private gestures constantly. Cards, gifts, messages, special treatment, celebrations. But most of those moments never become public stories. And critics online argue that difference changes how the public interprets the interaction. Because private appreciation feels authentic, public appreciation can start feeling performative. Again, that doesn't mean the gesture wasn't real. But according to discussions online, critics believe publicizing the gesture changed its emotional meaning completely. Then another uncomfortable observation spread online. Critics started saying Meghan increasingly seems to document moments that traditionally would have stayed personal. Marriage, children, travel, celebrations. According to many viewers online, critics believe that approach creates a paradox. The more she tries to prove authenticity, the less authentic people perceive it to be. Then another brutal theory appeared. Critics online argued the anniversary content felt less like, "Look at our relationship," and more like, "Please remember our relationship still matters." That interpretation became especially harsh because of growing speculation online around Harry and Meghan's public image recently. According to many viewers online, critics think every romantic anniversary rollout now gets analyzed less as celebration and more as messaging. Messaging about stability, messaging about relevance, messaging about connection. And once people start viewing affection as strategy, every future display becomes harder to believe emotionally. That's why critics online think the British Airways story exploded far beyond what anyone expected. Because according to many viewers online, people weren't reacting to a card. They were reacting to what they think the card was trying to prove. According to many viewers online, the British Airways anniversary story revealed something much more serious than a questionable PR moment. Critics online believe Meghan Markle has reached a point publicly where even positive stories now get interpreted suspiciously by default. And honestly, that may be a bigger problem than bad press. Because according to discussions online, public figures survive criticism all the time. But once audiences stop assuming good faith, everything changes. A compliment becomes promotion. A gift becomes branding. A celebration becomes strategy. And according to many viewers online, critics think Meghan may now be trapped inside exactly that cycle publicly. Then people started asking a difficult question. Would this same story have gone viral if somebody else posted it? Imagine. Catherine. Michelle Obama. Another celebrity. Would people have cared? According to critics online, probably not. That realization became uncomfortable. Because critics online argue the backlash itself may actually prove something. People are no longer reacting to individual moments. They're reacting to accumulated reputation. Years of interviews. Years of messaging. Years of contradiction accusations. Years of public storytelling. According to many viewers online, critics believe the anniversary card accidentally collided with all of that history at once. Then another observation started spreading online. Critics pointed out that Meghan often appears to communicate emotionally rather than institutionally. Not facts, announcements, formal statements. Instead, feelings, personal stories, private moments, symbolic gestures. That style worked extremely well earlier in her public life. But according to many viewers online, critics believe audiences increasingly want evidence and consistency more than emotional framing now. That shift matters. Because emotional storytelling only works when audiences trust the storyteller. Then another brutal interpretation emerged. Critics online argued Meghan's public image increasingly relies on demonstrating that she is admired, supported, validated, chosen, and appreciated. And according to discussions online, once people start noticing that pattern, they begin questioning every new example automatically. That's what critics online think happened with the playing card. Not, wow, that's sweet. But, are we supposed to feel something from this? Then another uncomfortable comparison returned. Critics online believe Meghan keeps trying to create moments that feel spontaneous, while also making sure those moments become visible publicly. And according to many viewers online, those goals increasingly clash. Because true spontaneity rarely arrives perfectly photographed, perfectly timed, perfectly captioned, and perfectly distributed afterward. That perception became devastating. Because once audiences begin expecting curation, authenticity becomes almost impossible to communicate. And according to critics online, that may be the real reason the British Airways story backfired. Not because people proved anything, but because people already thought they knew what the story was before they even opened it. At this point, according to many viewers online, the British Airways story exposed one final uncomfortable possibility. What if moments like this are not actually designed to persuade critics? What if they're designed to reassure supporters? Because according to discussions online, critics increasingly believe Meghan's recent public strategy doesn't look focused on converting skeptics anymore. Instead, they think it's focused on reinforcing an existing emotional story. Meghan is thriving. Meghan is adored. Meghan is happy. People appreciate her. Her marriage is strong. Her life outside the monarchy worked. According to many viewers online, once people started looking at the anniversary content through that lens, the entire rollout suddenly made more sense emotionally. The anniversary, the nostalgia, the handwritten note, the family moments, the public gratitude. Critics online argue all of it creates one consistent message. Everything is great. That's why the British Airways card became symbolic. Because according to critics online, the card itself almost didn't matter. What mattered was the image. Crew members celebrating Meghan. People remembering her. Public affection appearing naturally. That emotional symbolism became bigger than the actual event. Then another difficult conversation started. According to many viewers online, critics believe Harry and Meghan increasingly face a problem every public figure eventually encounters. You cannot force people to feel closeness. You cannot manufacture cultural relevance. You cannot ask audiences to emotionally reconnect because you want them to. That connection either exists or it doesn't. And critics online argue that's what Geneva followed by the anniversary content accidentally exposed. Because according to discussions online, people increasingly believe Harry and Meghan still approach public life like attention itself proves influence. But critics argue attention and affection are not the same thing. That distinction became brutal after this story. Then another observation spread online. Critics believe Meghan increasingly appears to want something impossible. Royal prestige, celebrity freedom, private family protection, public admiration, commercial success, and humanitarian credibility, all operating simultaneously. According to many viewers online, critics think the problem is that those identities constantly collide with each other publicly. Then came the harshest interpretation of all. Critics online argued the anniversary content felt less like, "Look at this sweet moment," and more like, "Please remember who I am." That perception may be unfair. But according to discussions online, once audiences begin interpreting stories through that lens, every future gesture risks becoming evidence of the same pattern. And according to many viewers online, that may be why something as small as a handwritten anniversary card ended up becoming a full-scale internet controversy instead of the charming moment it was probably intended to be. At this point, the internet is completely divided over Meghan Markle, the British Airways anniversary story, and whether critics are seeing strategy where there was simply kindness. Some people believe this entire backlash is ridiculous. A flight crew did something thoughtful. Meghan shared gratitude publicly. End of story. Others believe the reaction happened because people no longer evaluate these moments individually anymore. They evaluate them through years of accumulated public narratives, contradictions, and image management debates surrounding Harry and Meghan. And honestly, that's why this story exploded so aggressively online. Because according to many viewers online, the argument was never really about a handwritten card. It became about something bigger. Authenticity. Can public figures still share personal moments publicly without being accused of branding? Can celebrity storytelling ever feel spontaneous once audiences assume everything is planned? And when people stop giving someone the benefit of the doubt, can even genuinely nice moments survive public scrutiny? Then there's the British Airways angle specifically. Do you think the crew genuinely wanted to celebrate Meghan and the internet massively overreacted? Or do you think critics were right to question why a private anniversary moment became public content almost immediately afterward? Then there's the bigger Harry and Meghan question. Do you think they're simply adapting to modern celebrity culture like everyone else? Or do you think they're still trying to recreate the emotional attention of royal life while operating completely outside the institution? And what about the timing? Do you think the anniversary content appearing right after Geneva was coincidence? Or do you think critics are right that it looked like an attempt to shift the conversation emotionally? Drop your thoughts in the comments because audiences online are completely split on this story right now. And if you want more deep breakdowns on royal drama, celebrity controversies, media narratives, internet culture, and the stories social media cannot stop obsessing over, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because according to many viewers online, the British Airways anniversary story may have accidentally exposed something much bigger than a card. It may have revealed how difficult it has become for Meghan Markle to convince people a moment is real once they already believe everything is part of the show.